Research task simulations can be challenging because they require performing research on specific topics which candidates may not be able to find sometimes. Some candidates have no problem using the search function, while others take too long to find the answer. In today's video, I'm going to give you my best tips to master the research task simulations. So, keep watching. Hey future CPAs, this is Ala Abudaya. I'm a licensed CPA in the state of Colorado and I help students pass the CPA exam and become CPAs. If this is your first time here and you're interested in becoming CPAs, start by subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell in order not to miss any of my videos. Research task simulations appear in the financial accounting and reporting section of the CPA exam, in the audit section of the CPA exam, and in the regulation section of the CPA exam. Expect to receive 1 or 2 research simulations in these exams that may appear in the 3rd or 4th or 5th testlet. These questions will basically require you to research relevant authoritative literature inside the appropriate guidance to answer questions. There are no research questions, however, in the business environment and concept section of the CPA exam. To learn the structure of the CPA exam and the 4 parts of the CPA exam as well, make sure to watch these 2 videos which I explained about these 2 topics. Comment below and tell me if you find research questions to be challenging in comparison with others. In today's video, I will explain how to master the research type simulations. I will also give you a real example of a research question from the AICPA sample tests at the end of this video. So make sure to stay tuned till the end of this video and to keep watching till the end of this video. So, what are research simulations? Research simulations require you to research within the online authoritative literature to find the best supporting guidance for a given scenario. The online authoritative literature is usually located at the top of the task-based simulation toolbar. These questions want to test your ability to have research skills and look up certain information in the accounting standards and regulations, which is an important skill you need throughout your career as a CPA. It's similar to doing research on something in Google, for example, which I think all of us can do. Most of the time, you will get only 1 research question, but sometimes you may get 2 questions. In that case, 1 will definitely be a pretest question, which will not count in your score. However, since you don't know which one is the pretest one, you must take care of all the research questions and treat them as if they are all counting. Comment below and tell me if you faced research simulations in preparing for your CPA exam or not. And to learn how to apply for the CPA exam, make sure to grab the CPA exam application cheat sheet from the description below. It's totally free and it explains how to apply for the CPA exam step by step. So make sure to grab this sheet from the description below. So, how to answer research simulations. Here are my best 11 tips to help you master research simulations. Tip number 1. Read the given scenario carefully to understand what the question is asking about, and within the question, find the keywords you will use to search for in the literature. For example, if the question is asking about the auditor's responsibility regarding obtaining a written representation letter from management, the key term you must use for your research are written representation letter. Tip number 2. Based on the given scenario and the keywords you find in the question, you can either search within the table of contents or do a general search for what the question is asking about. Let me explain. If you know where the main topic is in the table of content, select that topic in the table of content and do a search within this topic. So there is a button named Search Within. You write the keyword and click on this button. The Search Within function will help you narrow down the paragraph within a topic and is a great tool, especially when you already know the particular topic or section that covers the research question. This is the fastest way to find your answer. Because remember, the deeper you go, the better results you get. Now, if you don't know where the topic is in the table of content, you must do a general search, which I will explain in the next tip. Tip number 3. In order to do a general research about what the question is asking about, you must first select the source relevant to the question and view it. These sources include the Internal Revenue Code, AICPA Professional Standards, FASB Codification, and PCAOB Auditing Standards. In our case, we want to look within the AICPA Professional Standards because we are looking for the written representation letter. Tip number 4. Type the keywords or phrase in the search box and click the magnify glass. You can also search using exact words as you do in Google. For example, you can put quotation marks between a phrase so the search engine knows that you want exact match. For example, if you type in written representation letter in between quotes, it will search for information with only this text instead of those with the words letter or representation anywhere in the text. Tip number 5. Scan the first few 10 results you get based on your research. Use your knowledge of the topic to determine whether the search results are relevant to the question you are answering. If none of them were relevant, this means you must go deeper into your search. Tip number 6. If none of your search was relevant, try the advanced search and use more specific terms. You can also limit your search to only the most relevant section of the literature by using the search within tool I already explained about in tip number 1. In order to do that, select the section of the literature from the table of contents that is most likely to contain the related keyword. Click on that section, type the keyword into the search box, select search within, and you will get results with only maps from that specific section. Tip number 7. From these narrowed results, select the exact paragraph that corresponds to the given scenario and enter your response using the pop-up guides found within the software to correctly enter in your citation. Tip number 8. If you can't find the answer, make an educated guess and move on. Don't leave anything blank. There is no cost for incorrect answers. So, do not move on without at least selecting your best guess. This can give you a point if your guess was correct, but if you did not get it correct, you will not lose anything. To learn how to maximize your CPA exam score and study smart for the CPA exam, make sure to watch these two videos which I explained about these topics. Tip number 9. Become familiar with the functionality of the exam research software and professional standards. This includes the presentation of content and structure of the various standards and citation formatting. To do that, use the free access to the AICPA authoritative literature, for which is usually for 6 months. You can then practice searching through the AICPA professional standards and FASB pronouncements with keywords. Make sure you have your notice to schedule because you will need the exam section ID to register and get access to it. You can get access using www.naspa.org/proflit. I will put the link in the description below. Tip number 10. Practice research questions using the AICPA sample tests, which will give you real exam screens. So it will help you get familiar with how these questions look like. These tests are found on the AICPA websites. Just go to aicpa.org, search for sample tests, and you will find them. Tip number 11. Budget your time. I recommend allocating from 7 to 10 minutes to complete the research questions. Research questions give you a great potential chance to make up some time you lost on other questions. Make sure you go into the exam with a plan as to how you will manage your 4 hours and how much time you want to leave for your simulations. Track your progress to ensure that you don't go out of time. So these are my best 11 tips to help you master the research simulations during the CPA exam. Most importantly, stay calm and be confident and focused while answering these questions. And remember to keep your eyes on the clock. The more familiar you are with the exam content, the easier and faster it will be for you to find the corresponding section in the authoritative literature. Get my best tips and tricks to beat the task-based simulation sections of the exam. Make sure to watch this video which I explained about these questions. Okay guys, so here's an example of a research simulation, and I chose it from the REG part of the exam, from the AICPA sample tests. And as you can see here are the exam screens that you will see on the exam. You got here the countdown clock and the calculator, Excel, and here the authoritative literature, which we will be using basically in this research question. So first of all, when you reach the research question, very important to read the instructions carefully and read what the question asks. And after you read the question, determine the main keywords that are in the question that you will use them in your research. And as I mentioned before, the more deeper you go in your research, the more specific you go, the better results you get and the fastest you can get results. So Palestinian Securities, a company with a March 31 year end, deals in copper and gold and derivatives associated with those commodities. In the past, Homestown has elected to value its stock-based securities at the fair market value of the stock as of March 31 and would like to do the same with its copper and gold. Which section and subsection of the Internal Revenue Code allows Homestown to make this election? So the question here basically requires us to, it says that Homestown Securities, which is a company, is dealing with copper and gold, which are, as you know, commodities, right? And it has also the derivatives associated with those commodities. Now, in the past, this company used to use elected to use the fair market value for its stock-based securities. And it would like to do the same thing for those commodities, for the copper and gold. So it would like to elect the fair value option for its copper and gold. Which section and subsection of the Internal Revenue Code allows Homestown to make this election? So here they gave us the source that we will search within, which is the Internal Revenue Code. We should find the section and subsection that allows them to use the fair value options for its copper and gold. So enter your response in the answer field below. Guidance on correctly structuring your response appears above and below the answer fields. So after you read the question, we must determine the keywords. So I have a lot of keywords in my mind. You have here fair market value election, fair market value election, fair market value. We have commodities. But in order to be smart, we should choose the correct keywords that we really need here, okay? So what you want to do after you select some keywords is go here to the authoritative literature, okay? And the first thing you want to do in the authoritative literature is to select the source, okay, in the authoritative literature. Already the question told us that they want us to select the sections and the subsections of the Internal Revenue Code. So the source we're going to select here from the authoritative literature is the Internal Revenue Code, or all our search will be in the Internal Revenue Code. So we're going to put here a tick mark next to Internal Revenue Code and put view, okay? And now, now we're going to begin our research within the Internal Revenue Code. So we're gonna try to put some keywords. So for example, if you want to put fair market value, let's try fair market value. Although it's a general word, I always prefer the more deeper you go, the better and the faster you get results. So as you notice, we get here a lot of results. So we got here more than 10 results. There are here 4 pages of results, full of results. Why? Because we inserted a general general keyword. And as I said, when I was explaining, you can put the word in brackets. So for example, if you want exactly fair market value, now here when we entered fair market value, as you can see the results, any paragraphs with the word value or fair or market, they were also highlighted here. But if you want specifically fair market value, you can put it between brackets like this and search for it here. And what you will find here is that the results became now a bit more specific. Okay, but until now we did not reach that thing we are looking for, because we have a lot of results. So we're gonna try out because after you scan the results and you find that there are a lot, and like we're not able to find that, like we're scanning them, we're trying to look at anything talking about copper and gold, or the other word is commodities, the other keyword, very important keyword. So here, like after you scan the first, for example, 7 to 10 results and you can't find it, don't waste your time on all of those. Try to put more specific words. So basically what we want to do is the fair market value for commodities, right? We're looking specifically for commodities, okay? So let's say, for example, fair market value commodities, and put commodities next to it to be more specific. And then put search within Internal Revenue Code and the enter. So here we got 2 results only, which is amazing, because we got the keyword commodities, we found it. Like it made the research much more specific. So here we got 2 results, and within these 2 results, we're gonna try to find which one of those 2 exactly talks about the thing that we're asking about. And here, Internal Revenue Code, subtitle A, income taxes. When we click on this one here, okay, we're gonna find that it's really this one here, the 475 mark-to-market accounting methods for dealers and securities. Okay, this one talks about dealers and securities, and we got here. So it's 475, but we're gonna try to look at something talking about commodities, specifically about commodities. So you're gonna try to research and find where is the commodities. Here's the commodities. E, election of mark-to-market for dealers in commodities. In general, in the case of a dealer in commodities who elects the application of this subsection, shall apply to commodities held by each dealer in the same manner. So here they're talking about the commodities, and there's also F here, election of mark-to-market for traders in securities or commodities, traders and securities. And here it says, such person shall recognize gain or loss on any security held in connection with such trade or business at the close of any taxable year, as if such security were sold at fair market value. It talks here about the traders in commodities. So this one is the one that we are looking for, actually. This is what the question is asking about, traders in commodities. In the case of a person who is engaged in a trade or business as a trader in commodities, and who elects to have this paragraph apply to such trade or business, paragraph 1 shall apply to commodities held by such trader in connection with such trade or business in the same manner as paragraph 1 applies to securities. So this is what we are looking for, basically. So it's going to be section 475, actually, here it is. Okay, section 475, and you can get it also from here, 475, and from here. Okay, and specifically 475F, which is the one that we saw was talking about the election of mark-to-market for traders in securities and commodities. So it's going to be 475 and specifically F here, okay? So we're going to put here 475 and F. So this is basically how you solve research questions. You're going to try to find the keywords of the question, enter the keywords, search within specific sources, and try to be specific. The more specific you go in the keywords, the more detailed you go, the better results you got. So the first time when I put fair market value on its own, I got tons of results. But when I realized they're talking specifically about commodities, and I put commodities, I also got the results I found easier. Like I did not get a lot of answers, a lot of results. So you can also put, as I said, brackets, use the brackets if you want specific words. For example, you can put traders here in commodities if someone already knows about this topic or knows the section that talks about it. You're gonna find that you're gonna get immediately you're gonna get the answer you're looking for. Okay, because there's only this one. So always The keyword is important when answering authoritative literature. Comment below and tell me if you are going to implement these 11 tips during your studying for the CPA exam. And make sure to grab your free CPA exam cheat sheet. It's in the description below as well. Remember, go after what you want. Pass the CPA exam because you can become CPAs and save the world.